Game yesterday in the afternoon did about 5-6 million. Had a good rating compared to what they did last year. Knicks Spurs game, which was a disaster. So this is Celtics and the Cavs. They can't give you a better game on a what did Saturday night do? Warriors and Spurs. I bet you that game was bad, but they can't give you a better game because that was an ABC game Saturday night, and again the combined rating was only 6 million. So that game was probably a horrendous rating on Saturday night. But yesterday they can't give you a bigger game, ABC or ESPN, at 3:30 than they give you Cavs. It's LeBron. They just made lots of trades, so there's a little bit of an interest, there's a curiosity level if nothing else, and it's the Celtics, Boston. So from that standpoint, they can't give you. I mean, that's as good as it gets. Now, again, I have it on right now, and I'm going to stick with it here today, the Olympics, and I'll see if I can find something. 2.5 million for Saturday night. That is an horrendous. That's a bad rating. I mean, they gave you a Saturday night. That's why when I tell you this is what I mean. When this is where ESPN jams the NBA down your throat, basically day after day after day, game after game after game, and it doesn't want. I mean, they have to do it because they're paying them $1.4 billion a year, one of the worst contracts in the history of broadcast television ever negotiated involving a team or a league and a sports entity. They got 2 million people watch the game, 2.5 million people. And that's Golden State and the Spurs now. That's not, I didn't give you Kings and Suns. I gave you Golden State and San Antonio. Now, I know Leonard didn't play, but who cares? You think the average fan knows about Kawhi Leonard? I don't know. 2.5 million people. That's horrendous on the Saturday night. Now, last night they did a little better. But this is what is this now? This is the biathlon right now? Is that what it's called? This is the cross country. I have no idea how much they have to ski, but they have the guns on the back, and then they stop and they take a couple shots, and then they go back and ski again. It's a very weird. I mean, there's a lot of these Olympic sports are very strange, let's be honest. Very, very strange. And it's about 5 degrees every night, and there's nobody sitting in the stands, if you notice that. I've noticed it myself. The place has been empty. Well, it's cold, and it's in the middle of nowhere. You may continue.
And they delayed the downhill, because I know they had a problem with the wind and skiing, so that got pushed.
Well, they got a couple days.
Yeah, so I know that won't be till Thursday, it looks like. I think they're saying.
No, so it's not going to be on tonight now?
I'm not sure, but today they said it could be as late as Thursday, depending on the weather.
All right, well, let's see what they have tonight. I thought they had the downhill skiing today. Let's see, 8 o'clock prime time. They got freestyle skiing, women's ski jumping. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong time. They got men's alpine skiing, and they have women's speed. They got men's alpine skiing live, and that is that is the combined downhill run. Is that canceled today because of the wind?
The giant slalom women's was canceled. That's going to be now Wednesday. That's the one there. So I don't know about tonight's yet.
All right, you don't know about tonight. All right, so we'll have to wait tomorrow morning. But we'll talk to Bell about this a little later on. And I'm going to have fun with Bell. I love him. But, I mean, he's going to tell me, Chris, you're in a minority. We're getting 20 million people a night. And, you're getting 20 million people a night for a 2-week period. Now, they spend a fortune carrying the event. Fortune. I mean, billions and billions of dollars. I can't get wrapped up in it. But, again, Eddie, did you watch this weekend? Let's do a little internal poll. Did you watch last weekend?
I tried to watch a little bit, and I checked out very quickly.
Was your wife into the skating?
No, we were into Homeland. We watched old episodes of Homeland.
Yeah, I know they did a big deal this week. I did. How about you, Ray? Were you into it?
I watched the luge actually yesterday morning. I actually was up. I watched it. I liked that.
Was it live? Yes.
Yeah, it was about 8:30 in the morning, and then the guy who was a favorite to win actually ended up messing up completely and giving the U.S. the guy.
So in other words, they showed that at night because I saw that at night. They showed that twice yesterday.
Yeah, it was early yesterday morning. Watched it. Yeah,
it wasn't an NBC. It was
on one of those those direct TV channels where you could get it.
All right, so you saw it live at that time, and then you did not see it at night because I watched it at night. So they must have replayed it at night.
I'd already seen it. Again, by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, everying's done. It's in the morning, so I caught it.
That's a 10-hour thing. That and listen to the broadcast of the Mets, right? Laugh, Ray. It's funny. Ray's my pal. He's a Patriot fan, by the way, who is still getting over the fact. Yeah, you okay with that loss? I didn't talk to you about it. You okay?
That defense was just terrible.
Oh,
I mean, any defense at all.
You got a major issue with Belichick now playing Malcolm Butler.
There's got to be something more to it. I can't think he just did it because of a what does he say, procedure or the game plan. There's no way. There had to be something that we don't know about.
All right, so you're going to give Belichick he wouldn't have not played him the whole game, 97% he had played during the regular year, unless he missed a meeting or did something along those lines.
It's got to be something
Despite
even worse
the fact that Malcolm Butler did put out a tweet saying, I was at every meeting, I did this and I did that.
And Bill has not made any comment either. It's almost like he's kind of letting it just go and get out, and we'll find out 10 years when the book's written down the road.
All right, here you go. Well done. Let's go to Ronnie in Michigan, and he says hello on Mad Dog Unleashed. Ron, good afternoon. How are you today, Ronnie? What's going on today? What do you have for me?
Hey, Doggy, two things on the Olympics. Now, Friday night, I did take my wife out to dinner, but all she wanted to do, Doggy, was get home to watch that opening ceremony. So these Olympics are based around...
You're telling me your wife couldn't wait to get home and watch that stupid opening ceremony?
She wanted, Doggy, that's all she wanted to do, and I watched the Olympics on Saturday night with her. But what's going on Saturday night and last night is your guy you had on during the Super Bowl when he talked about the Olympics from NBC.
Lazarus.
The Alpines have all been canceled. Those have all been canceled.
Well, he mentioned that. He mentioned that with us, that skiing was going to be a problem. He did mention that. Go ahead.
It's a problem right now because there's not enough games, so they got to fill it with the stuff they've showed live during the day on sport.
Oh, I see. All right. So, well, they were going to. So yesterday we had to see we had to watch the luge because the skiing was canceled. So that's why they ended up showing the luge twice. Okay, I got you.
Saturday night, I was looking forward to the men's downhill, and they got canceled because of the wind, so you had a bunch of delays. But they did have that little kid from Colorado, a 17-year-old kid, win that, I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, he was all excited. I saw that. Right,
yeah,
go ahead.
That was pretty cool. But what I'm trying to say, Doggy, now's the time to sit down and watch a little sports with your sweetie because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, my wife's not that into it, though. I mean, she'll follow it, but it's not like she's that wrapped up on these events. There's no question about it. I know Cindy in Massachusetts got annoyed on Friday, but the case is, and the point is well said. This is a sporting event that NBC gears for the female. This is to sit there and just say anything different is absurd. That's just the way it is. They put all the skating on in prime time. The way they package it. Let's go home and watch the opening ceremonies and the drones in the sky. This is for the female. This is not for the serious The serious sports fan's not going to get into this. I mean, and a serious sports fan might have a little interest in a hockey, but the hockey, of course, is an event now that there's no the hockey tournament is a joke because the U.S. is not there. No NHL players, and again, the games are at 3:00 in the morning. So there you go. Patrick in Albany, New York, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Patrick, welcome. How are you today? What do you have for me?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
Fine, Patrick. Thank you. What's happening now? What do you have?
Well, I want to just mention the coverage of the Olympics.
Yes.
I have two daughters.
Yep.
And they're totally into it.
Wow. How old are the daughters?
And, 15 and 7.
Okay. Well, they wouldn't recognize the time difference would not be a factor. Because they're not going to recognize the time issue. A 7-year-old can't figure that out. The 15-year-old probably knows about it, but not on top of it. So the time difference you can overcome. What's next? Go ahead.
Well, the other thing is there's a couple of I'm not going to remember their names because, like I said, it's more for my girls than for me. But there's a couple of local athletes, within a couple of 2-3 hours from where we live.
Yeah, same thing for me. There's that Tucker West lives in Ridgefield, not too far from where I live. So if you find a little local flavor, so you have found, Patrick, a little local flavor. Make a long story short.
Yeah, we found a little local flavor, but the problem I have with it is that I was watching some of the coverage the other day on NBC. And again, I'm not really into the athletes, but I recognize their names. So I was listening for their names, and then I heard one of the athletes coming up that my girls wanted to watch, and it was on NBC. So I paused it, and I got my girls into the living room so they could watch it a little bit, and it was coming towards the end of NBC's coverage. So when they ended, just at the end of it, I go to the other networks, and I'm scouring around looking for it, and all of a sudden it's men's skiing. So they don't even continue the coverage on the other network.
All right, so run this by me now. So you were looking for a particular event, and you went to NBC. Now, there's a million NBC channels. Which NBC did you go to?
Just the main NBC, the main network.
I got you. So you go to the network looking for a particular event. It wasn't there, and then what?
Well, they mentioned the athlete's name, so
I'm listening, Patrick. We got disconnected. So, go ahead.
We got disconnected from NBC, and I scoured around looking for MSNBC or whatever other network it was, and I found it, but it wasn't the coverage that NBC had. It was like men's skiing. So they're not picking up what the other network has ended with. And I never even got to see the event.
It sounds like it got a little confusing. I'm sure that there's a lot of maneuvering in NBC's TV compound of what to show, what not to show, especially when they get bad weather in the mix. I can't answer that. I mean, we learned something just a minute ago. Ray saw an event live in the morning on one of the cable channels on NBC, which I saw at night, 12 hours later, not knowing who had won, because they had the skiing canceled. So it works in some capacities. It's weird, though. I tell you, you're really going to have to be into it to find it. Half past, no update yet. We'll get to the calls continuing. Sean in New Jersey, and he's aboard here. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Sean, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Sean, what's going on now? What do you have?
Chris, my wife and daughter, Friday night, DVR, the opening ceremony. I went to bed. We went out, we came home, and my daughter's all into it because she wants to see all the different countries. I can't watch it.
So how old is your daughter?
She's 8 years old. So she got a kick out of seeing the countries come in and who's carrying the flag, and they're all into it. I mean, as a sports fan, I tried to watch women's hockey yesterday, U.S. and Finland. I had to turn it off. I just can't watch it, and it's just hard to watch as a serious sports fan. I just can't get into any of this stuff.
Yeah, but your daughter, how about your wife, Sean? Let me hear. She's into it?
Yeah, she's into it. They're watching the skating last night. They're checking it out. And the one thing is, we came back from a function yesterday around 2 o'clock. I go to put on Channel 4. It's the Blues and the Penguins playing hockey. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, I wanted to see something. Maybe I could get into the skiing or something. And
they had an NHL regular season game on at 3 o'clock local Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not watching that. I mean, I'd rather watch, try and check out some downhill skiing or something and give it a shot. But, I turn it on. There's the Blues and Penguins. I don't really need to see that.
I don't know why they decide. I guess they took a gap in the afternoon. I can't. Again, these are questions we will ask Jim Bell a little later on. I have noticed that the stadiums have been not crowded. That's what this biathlon, there's some people there, but that's what I've noticed. That the facilities, now again, it's 5 degrees out there and it's windy and you're frozen. So unless you have a relative who's competing, why would you ever sit to watch downhill skiing? I mean, there's nobody at the event, local, nobody. Ray, did you notice that? There's nobody there.
And even the biathlon right now, you see the stands are empty.
It's empty. Now, again, A, it's a niche sport. B, why would anybody buy tickets in Seoul, Korea to see the biathlon? Yeah, I mean,
it's freezing. It's absolutely freezing.
I'd rather go to a ballet than watch that. That I'm not watching. Now, has the hockey rink been crowded for the? Has it been crowded for the skating? We don't know that.
Seen that yet.
Okay. Now, who is this on TV right now? NBC. Who they got on? 3 o'clock. I know Megyn Kelly was all upset because they didn't take her. Right? She didn't get annoyed with those horrendous ratings. But those are those. What we've learned about Fox. Fox does. People go to Fox. I could be on Fox. The ratings are there. The Bill O'Reillys, the Megyn Kellys. When you take them off, they don't lose any ratings. Don't lose any ratings. Now look, it's the American flag. Well, they're going to drape us in the American flag. I need to see the empty buildings. Now this is the opening ceremony. I guess the opening ceremony had people there.
Yeah, you had all the athletes and everything. So.
Well, I mean, was the stands packed? That's the question I want to know. Was it 60,000 people in the building? That's what I want to know. Looks like there was. I got to find a way. Half past Sports Bite. Dan Lang here on Mad Dog.